Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of The Hard Carry. This is episode 3, going into the Masters, and we're going to go over some of Prize Picks, Valorant fantasy players, my favorite plays for the weekend. If you're not familiar with Prize Picks, I can't really go back to the homepage, but pretty much it's a fantasy sports gambling betting website. They have all kinds of stuff, CSGO, Valorant, all kinds of sports. But it is my favorite because I live in the United States. I can't bet on esports, but this site allows you to bet on the fantasy score of esports. So to be a little bit familiar with it, the scoring chart goes off of kills, you get 2 points, assists, you get 1 point. So when you see some of these fantasy scores, you're going to wonder, like, why are some of them so drastic compared to others? And that's because of the odds that the team wins the match. So starting off, we'll look at the DRX and ZETA game. I don't worry about map 3s because it's pointless to bet on it. It takes up money, and there's not a guarantee that it goes map 3, which most of these games aren't going to go map 3 anyway. So just looking at DRX, they give you 2 players. Usually they give you 2 players for each team that's playing for the day. In this case, you got Buzz and you got Mako for DRX, and then you got Sugar Zero and Laz for ZETA. So you can tell off the back, Buzz has a 78.5 fantasy score. So when you pick these players, I'll show you. You pick the over or under on the fantasy score. So you either pick Buzz getting 79 fantasy points or more, or you pick 78 or less. So, and again, you get 2 points per kill, 1 point per assist. So essentially, for an 80 fantasy score, you would need 35 kills over the course of 2 maps with 10 assists. So that would put you at 80. 35 times 270 plus 10 assists would be 80. That's how I came up with the number. So Mako, for example, he would be at 35 kills, no assist, 30 kills, 10 assists. So these are just the numbers when I look at the fantasy scores. That's how I figure it out, which plays I like the most. So looking at these first 2, you got Buzz and Mako. So 78.5 and 70.5. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to find these players. Buzz averages 0.84 kills per round. Mako averages 0.78. However, Mako averages 0.42 assist, and Buzz only averages 0.27 assists per round. So I did receive a little bit of feedback from my other videos, just to break down some of the stuff and go into more depth about what they mean. So this is your average combat score for those of you that play Valorant. Not sure why you're watching this video if you don't play Valorant or if you're not familiar with it, but this is your combat score over the course of the match. Your kill death ratio, that's your kills divided by deaths. The KAST, that's your kill assist survival or trade percentage. That's for every round you play. This is the percentage of the ones that you get either a kill and assist. You survive the round or you get your death traded. So ADR is your average damage a round. These are your kills per round, your assists per round, your first kill per round. I like to use this stat because it shows you who's the entry fragger, who's more consistent on leading that team into the site or putting himself in a position to get first pick. But with that, obviously, a high first kill percentage comes with a high first death percentage, because obviously you're not going to win all of them. Headshot percentage doesn't really mean anything, and your clutch percentage. So clutch percentage I like 1 second. So clutch percentage I like looking at because it shows you when those players aren't put in situations where the averages mean anything, how effective are they going to be. So that's a stat I like to pay attention to a little bit. But mainly what I pay attention to is kills per rounds, assists per rounds, because that's what you're getting scored off of. So for example, Buzz is 0.84. So let's say bring up the calculator here. So let's say the score, just an average, let's say they play 20 rounds. So let's say DRX wins 13-7 against ZETA. So we'll do 20 times 2. We'll just say both maps go 13-7. So you got 40 rounds played. So 40 times 0.84, 33.6. So jot this down right here, 33.6 for kills. Oops, one sec. 33.6 kills over the course of 2 maps, and then you got 40, or sorry, let's do 33.6 times 2. You would have 67.2. So we'll say 67.2 fantasy score for kills, and you got assists. You got 40 times 0.27. So you got 10.8. 10.8 there. So let's say 10.8. So you're looking at 70. All right. So this is actually a perfect example. So you have 77, 78. So based off of 40 rounds played over the course of 2 maps, and given Buzz's kills per round and assists per round, you're looking at exactly 78 fantasy points. And as you can see, his over under is 78.5. So the way I like to gauge my bets on games like this, how many rounds are they going to play? So if you've watched my other videos, I've projected that DRX pretty much smoke ZETA. So my prediction would be 13-5. So I would have this game going out around 36 on the lower side of rounds played, and 40 being the higher side. So anywhere between 36 and 40. So if my high rounds played are 40, and that puts you at 78 for Buzz, the low side, I'm going to take the under. So for Buzz's map 1 and 2, I'm taking the under. I don't see them playing that many rounds. Again, I don't see the rounds or the games being drawn out as far. However, I do see DRX dominating fashion. So even though they are winning 13 rounds, you still got to take into account the other rounds where Buzz can come up with some of these kills. So and you can see here his first kills are 0.15. So 15% of the rounds he gets first kills. So I mean, he's playing Brim, Astra, Chamber, but RB's obviously playing Jet and Raze. So the entry fragger is obviously RB. Buzz, I feel like most of that's coming off of defense from just playing sites. So so I'm taking the under on Buzz. So under 78.5. So that'll be my Buzz play. I'm taking under. Clutch percentage 19. He's the lowest clutch percentage on the team. 19% is still pretty good. So if he is put in some situations where has to clutch, he's obviously playing the support roles, the controller roles, where he's able to use his utility to effectively clutch up some rounds. So Mako, you have 0.78 kills per rounds and 0.42. So we'll just use the same system. So let's say 40 rounds times 0.78. You got 31.2, so 62.4 on kills. And the assists are a huge factor here, 0.42. So you can see Viper and Astra, he's going to get a lot of assists off of those agents. So let's do 40 times 0.42. You got 16.8 assists over the course of 2 maps. So 16.8. So that's a 13-7 match. So you're looking at 79.2. So if you look back at his score, it's only 70. So my projections are on the high side 79.2. So that's 9 points over what the fantasy score was. So I'm gonna take the over 75.5 on him. He does have a 21% clutch percentage, third highest on the team. He doesn't die first a lot at all. He's actually the lowest on the team. So he stays alive in rounds, and he is kind of aggressive on the sense where he'll get first kills per round. So that's a big factor that I take into account, that he's getting first kill 0.08, 0.04. So I'm going to take the over 70.5 on him, and that'll be my plays for DRX. So moving on to Zeta, you have 61.5 fantasy score and 68.5 for Laz. So again, looking at Zeta, you got Laz with a 0.8 and a 0.3. We'll just, I don't know why I keep closing this calculator. So we'll do 40 times 0.8, 32. And then we'll do 40 times 0.3, 0.31, get 12.4, so 12.4 plus 64, actually, not 32. Yeah, multiply it. You come out to 76.4. So for Laz, he's sitting at a 68.5, 76.4. So you are 10 points over. However, a little trick that I've learned throughout this is, if you're on the losing end of it, your stats aren't going to be inflated. So for DRX, they're not guaranteed to win, but in my projections, I'm projecting them to win in a dominating fashion. So I'm comfortable with these stats being inflated to this point, if not a little bit more. With this, I'm going to downgrade it a little bit. So 76.4, I don't really like the odds of that. They're only going to win 7 rounds. So 7 rounds is where they're going to maximize their kills. Whereas DRX, they have 13 rounds where they're going to maximize it. So with Zeta only winning 7 rounds, essentially, if that's what they win, that's where the most of this is going to come out of. As you can see, Laz is dying second highest on the team at 12% of the time. He has an 8% clutch percentage, so even if he does stay alive, he's not clutching up and winning some of these. So I'm 76 to 68, not very comfortable betting that. Again, this team, the stats are, again, they only play 229 rounds. They're not very, it's not a big match pool, so I'm not going to play it. However, if I was, I'm going to go under the 68.5. So under 68.5. I'm not betting that, but that's just what I'm going to play. Then we're looking at Sugar Zero. Sugar Zero is averaging just about the same amount of kills per round as Laz, and some more assists. So again, he's not getting first kills a lot. He's not dying first a lot. He does have a 27% clutch percentage. So, and his KAST is also 77%. So he's getting kills, assists. He's surviving rounds, or he's trading rounds at a lot higher rate than the rest of his team. His KD is also 1.24, so he does stay alive a lot. So we'll bring up the calculator again. We'll do 40 times 0.76, 30.4, so you got 60.8 kills. And then we'll pull up the assist, 0.40, 40 times 0.40, 16. So you're looking at about 76.8. And again, you take into account that they're not going to win these maps, so you drop it down a little bit. Looking at his score, where is Sugar Zero? He's at a 61.5. So just off the predictions alone, he's already 15.5 above. I'm taking the over 61.5 here. 15 points is 61.5. Sorry. Having a 16-point projection, even with only winning 7 rounds per se, I don't see that happening. Again, that's similar stats. His assists make up for the deaths that he doesn't have. So I'm definitely in favor of Sugar Zero being over. So that'll be the 4 plays for the DRX ZETA game. I got 2 unders, 2 overs. So we'll go ahead and lock this one in. Maps 1 and 2. Maps 1 and 2. So we got Buzz under, Mako over, Sugar Zero over, Laz under. They got 3 games up here. Yeah, they got 3 games. So we'll go ahead and lock that in for $25. $25 pays out $250. So if all 4 of those hit correctly, it'll lock in for $250. So we'll lock that one in. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed watching, again, please drop a like, drop a comment, follow the Twitter, subscribe. If you see this on Reddit, please post something in the comments, get a discussion going, and we'll see you next time. Deuces.